leadership in KwaZulu-Natal have resulted in the provincial elective conference being postponed indefinitely. The province is divided into the Ramaphosa and the Dlamini Zuma camps. Following the suspension of the PEC in January, Mike Mabuyakhulu and Sihle Zikalala were elected as part of the Provincial Interim Committee. The Interim Committee was tasked with preparing ANC structures for a fresh elective conference within 3 months. Divisions between the two sides were laid bare on Monday during the Moses Babida Regional Consultative Meeting, when conflict between the two factions led to several rounds of ammunition being fired. The Regional Consultative Meeting was held to assess the region's readiness to send delegates to the Provincial Elective Conference. Joining us on the phone line for more details on this is the ANC KZN Provincial Convener, Mr. Mike Mabuyakhulu. A very good afternoon to you, Mr. Mabuyakhulu. Thank you so much for your time and for joining us this morning on. As a KZN ANC National Convener, perhaps just start off by painting us a picture of what exactly transpired at the Moses Mabhida Regional Consultative on Monday.
Well, good morning to you and good morning to the Republic. Well, first and foremost, as the African National Congress in KwaZulu-Natal, we want to say that we are extremely disappointed about the unfortunate events that took place at the venue of one of the consultative meetings that was held in Howick for the Moses Mabhida region. The meeting was convened with a view of addressing the ANC members to brief them about the forthcoming regional conferences and the provincial conference. And it was one of those consultative meetings where branches of the ANC would have been consulted before by members of the National Executive Committee, the NEC, as part of the process of an analysis which is emanating out of the decision of the National Executive Committee that met at the end of March this year, where a decision was taken that national leadership will then assess a situation on a case-by-case whether conferences would go ahead or they could be postponed up until after the general elections next year. However, this meeting then was convened to try and do that. We think that we are disappointed about the fact that there was this very ugly scenes of firearms that were displayed, and some got to an extent that a firearm was also discharged in the public, and that we saw that thing. And as the ANC, we have taken a very clear decision that we will be probing this incident and investigate it so that we can come to the bottom end of what happened in that meeting. And secondly, that the South African Police Services themselves are now conducting their own investigation about the incident. Because once you have people displaying firearms and even discharging a firearm in public, it becomes a matter for the police. And we are very happy that the police are dealing with this matter in that regard.
And now, Mr. Mabuyakhulu, in terms of finding solutions to solving these problems experienced within the province, just talk us through some of the interventions which the ANC has currently in place to prevent such from happening and the outbreak of violence in the province.
Well, first and foremost, it is known that as the ANC in KwaZulu-Natal, we have announced the fact that we are embarking on a process of discussing unity and forging and enhancing unity between ANC members, but also between the ANC structures as well as those structures of our strategic allies, such as COSATU, SANCO, and the ACCP. We have already begun with the team of the three-a-side that has done the preparatory work. We have had sessions of the 10-a-side meetings. We have met with the alliance, and we are at a stage where we are moving to a process where we are having these very deeper discussions amongst ourselves, because we all agree that there is a need for us to forge a unity of purpose, but also to forge principled unity between the ANC structures and ANC members. Now, the incident that happened on Monday, at this stage, we are not sure what actually caused it, other than the fact that there were people who say they wanted to enter into the meeting, but they were not allowed to enter into the meeting. Whether those people were supposed to be in the meeting or not, our probe will then prove to that extent and see how we react into that. But I want to say to the general public, the ANC is a very responsible organization, and we are taking upon ourselves to ensure that indeed, as a leading party in government, that the work of government and the work of society in general continues to be done, to be implemented by ANC employees in government. And almost in all the municipalities where the ANC is governing, we continue to govern in this province without any fee. So we want just to dispel a notion as if there is a very big battle that is taking place within the ANC, which is now leading to a paralysis of the government and therefore affecting the general public. Yes, issues of unity need to be worked upon on an ongoing basis, and we will not be denialists to deny that there are issues we need to work on. Since the 2015, just before and after the 2015 provincial conference, that has now become an issue where the ANC has suspended the PEC. That in itself is something that we recognize and we accept as the ANC that we must work on the issue of unity, and we are actually focusing in ensuring that we build unity of purpose between the ANC members and the ANC structures.
Well, Mr. Mabuyakulu, we will have to leave it there for now, but thank you so much for your time.
Izwela me,